This episode is brought to you by PMG Pickleball, your premier destination for high-quality pickleball pals designed to elevate your game. At PMG, they are committed to providing players across Canada with innovative, performance-driven pickleball paddles crafted for durability, precision, and ease of play. Irene and myself are currently using their Gen 3 Pro paddle, and if you head over to anivia.com and enter the code AGorman15, you get 15% off your order. That's AGorman15 at anivia.com. All right, on with the show. All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Pickleball Diaries podcast. I am your host, Andrew Gorman, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, certified pickleball... Oh, my God. It's been a week. Certified pickleball referee, Victor Chan. How's it going, Vic?
Good, Andrew. Thank you. Busy, obviously, with my newborn, but, well, it's the beauty of parenting.
Yeah, exactly, right. So we thought we were going to have a break from CNPL news, but Mike and Yui just said, no, here's a big news dump for you guys, right? So
exactly.
If you haven't been paying attention to the CNPL website, they've announced their entire schedule for season 4 with some changes to the off season and all that. So starting as of October 7th, and we're shooting this on the 13th, so happy Thanksgiving to anyone who was celebrating. The re-signing period has already begun. And so teams have to have at least one player signed by October 31st, and then all non-signed players become free agents. Then, starting November 1st to November 7th, teams can openly talk to any player who's not signed in basically what they call a legal tampering period. And then starting November 8th to the 14th, free agency period. So teams may sign one free agent each. November 15th, the draft registration reopens and draft picks are distributed. January 9th, January 19th, draft registration closes. January 27th is draft day. So that's 2 months early, Vic. And that's the beauty about having minor league pickleball now, is that if there was people they were scouting who didn't play in the CNPL, that's where teams can now look, right?
Yeah, that would be great. Actually, that's the reason why you should play at the CNPL.
Yeah, and so there's only two. There's only
minor league. Sorry.
Yeah, there's only two. There's only two events left. So if you want your name to be eligible for the draft this upcoming year for CNPL, you got to get into those last couple of MILP tournaments, because that's one of the requirements. Now, obviously, if you played in season 3, you don't need to. You're already qualified. Like that. So yeah, already qualified. So you just have to. I think it's a $50 registration fee to sign up to get registered, and then you're in the draft. And then, so 2026 CNPL Season 7 or C4. I'm going to stick the logo up here. I really like the logo that they used. It was really nice.
They did a good job.
Yeah. So May 9th and 10th is the regular season opener. Then May 23rd and 24th is the Western Split. Nice. June 6th and 7th is the Eastern Split. June 27th and 28th is the mid-season event. July 18th and 19th is the Metropolitan Split. August 8th and 9th is the Central Split. August 11th is Trade Deadline. August 29th and 30th is the regular season finale. Then September 1st, we have the season awards ceremony. Hopefully they broadcast that, Vic, because that'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, they hopefully they actually ask us also a little bit.
Maybe ask us for our input. Yeah, let us vote.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let us count for a vote. That'll be great.
Yeah, let us. We'll be the ones where they have in the NHL where they have the media picks a certain category. Let us have a vote on one of the categories.
That'll be great.
And then championship weekend will be September 26th and 27th. The season is aligned with that global tour that the APP is part of. And for those of you who weren't watching that episode when we went over that, the Canadian Open is September 6th and 7th. So that's right after the season awards, but then it's still a good 3 weeks before championship weekend. And of course, you have an insane amount of tournaments scheduled throughout the entire year, but none of the splits or openers or events coincide with those, so that way you're able to, if players want to, they can go to the mid-season event, and then they can go, say, if there's a tournament like in Australia or in the US by APP, they are able to go to that. There's no overlapping of things. Of course, we ran into that problem at the last season where one of the events clashed with one of the tournaments that was going on, where you had a couple players had to pull out, right? So
yeah, big time.
Now, this was in the words of the CNPL post. So, in shaping the 2026 calendar, CNPL has collaborated with the Global Pickleball Alliance to ensure no conflicts with international tour schedules, ensuring that our athletes can proudly represent both their pro teams and themselves on the world stage. This balanced calendar reflects the CNPL's commitment to supporting the global growth of pickleball while maintaining Canada's premier domestic league as a hub for top-tier talent. And then what to expect in C4. Expanded competition and deeper rosters will lead to an enhanced fan experience, both in person and online. More opportunities for new talent to break through the ranks. And then they say stay tuned for more updates throughout the end of 2025 as they approach the draft on January 27th. So super, super excited about that. I love the fact that there's more events now. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 events before championship weekend, so 8 events in total. This is nothing but good news, Vic. And if we want to speculate a little bit here, I'm interested to see now, especially with that where they have to have one player signed. I guess you could call that kind of like the franchise player. I'm going to take it. I guess we can kind of sit here and guess. Like, I'm going to say Lions, obviously, probably Ernesto.
Yeah, you got.
Like that's kind of a layup.
Technically, you technically should, right?
Yeah, right. Like, and like, who do you think? Like, say, like Toronto United. For that.
You have been signing Matt Kawamoto for the past couple of years, right? You like he's pretty much the face of Toronto United. So therefore, there's no other fitting than him, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. And then I guess if we go Brewers, probably Mark Clemenson, because same thing. He's been kind of the face of the Brewers over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
The Smash is interesting though, because do you go with if you just had to pick one? Now, obviously, teams can re-sign. I think it was rumored 3 players.
I think it's 3. Last year's 3.
Last year was
3 for sure.
Yeah. So if we go 3 again, but we'll cut all teams down to 1. We'll say like that, like we said, where they have to have at least 1 player. The Smash is interesting because do you go with Jessica Kawamoto or do you go with Ryan?
That's a tough call. Like if you're really thinking about, because there's not. I'm not saying that woman is not as strong as men, but at the same time, there's not much high level woman. Sometimes you can pick versus the men. The men seems to, like, if you look this year, the men's has been pretty close to each other. It's the women's that there is a big discrepancy, and especially in the mix, there you can see there's a big discrepancy on some of the matches.
Yeah, you have like your upper echelon, like 4 or 5 women, and then the other women are still really good, but there is that little bit of a stopgap in between.
So therefore, do you want to not to gamble just to get Jessica Kawamoto right away, because you can kind of gamble Ryan Torrenson for a draft or something like that.
Yeah, right. So I think I would probably go with Jessica on that one, just because like that is literally like the top, like I'd say like 3, 4, 5 female player in Canada right now, right? So then if we move over to, we did the Lions, we did Brewers, we did the Smash. If we do Northern Lights, this is an interesting one. I would say either Lucas or Joel for that one.
Like I would say, if you pick Joel, is for his leadership and his kind of experience, or you pick Lucas for being more like a seasoned youngster that can grow the team kind of thing.
Yeah. And like we said, everyone, this is like if we're saying they're only taking one. Now, some of these teams could take three. Like honestly, if we're saying the Lions, who's not like how are you not going to go Ernesto, Elsie, and Sophie, right? Like as your three to keep because
Exactly.
and run it back, right? But if we're saying just one, so like this would, like we said, we're throwing kind of like the phrase franchise player on it, right? So, but it is interesting to.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see
technical
how we
difficulty
got.
there.
No problem. So now we have Northern Lights. How about the pronghorns like Brad Chapman?
I would, yeah, because Brad's not making it past the first round if you don't take him.
Yeah, exactly. Because Brad is going to be taken for sure.
Yeah,
quickly.
like there's some people you can kind of gamble with, like, and like they did that this last draft with Kim. Like they drafted Brad first and got Kim on the flip side. Right now, teams might not let them do that again, but like for sure if Brad's available in that first round, he's getting grabbed by someone.
Definitely.
Right. So, so we'd say Brad for the pronghorns. And that's if they're still called the pronghorns, because as far as I know, they are going to have a new owner now. Whether that owner keeps them as the pronghorns or relocates, like what we would be considered the home base, to somewhere else, we will see. Then who do we have? The Owls left?
Yeah. No, we have two more Owls in the Drives.
Owls in the Drive. So the Drive is an interesting one because I think. And this would also depend. It would depend on if they do the same thing where if you keep one player, does that take away your first round draft pick? Because that's been the case the last 3 seasons. But if they change that,
if they said you have to, maybe not, right? They said you have to.
Yeah, because they've said you've had to pick one. I'm wondering if you get that first keeper as a free, and you don't lose
the free. Yeah, the one freebie. Basically.
So if you keep one freebie, then I would probably keep Evan.
Yeah, that would be my pick too. Evan. Well, people has been if you remember from our last pod on the recap, like Evan, I picked Evan as the player that has been the surprise, right?
Yeah, exactly right. So yeah, and the way he started playing and becoming more of a leader as the especially in the final split and then in playoffs, right? So yeah, so I would probably say Evan, because everyone else on that team, because if you remember, they took Wes first,
but Wes wouldn't
and
be
as far
playing,
and from the rumors, I think Wes is joining the coaching staff next year from the scuttlebutt I've heard around the league. So if Wes isn't coming back as a player, then I would take Evan. Then we got the Owls. So the Owls is an interesting one because do you go with Christina or do you go with Armand?
Yeah, that's a tough choice because if you let Christina go for sure,
I don't think either of them are being kept after the first round. To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them is going to be tough to keep, right? So like you have to gamble between. Oh, do I go? Like I said, a little bit like the Smash. Do you go for the female or do you go for the male, right? Like if it was me again, obviously I have tendency to try to pick my best female first right away.
Yeah.
So I would keep Christina.
Yeah, exactly right. Because it's interesting because you got away with picking Armand a little lower last year because especially for some of the Eastern teams, he wasn't as well known. That's not the case anymore.
Yeah, people knows now,
right? So it's going to be interesting with that. So yeah, I would probably go Christina. And like we said, if they're able to keep more than one, like we're saying the one is like where they said on the announcement they have to keep one player, right? So if we say the one, I would say Christina. If I would probably at bare minimum keep Christina and Armand. Honestly, I would probably also keep, if you're keeping 3, maybe Anna as well. And hope that they go with how they were playing with the potential, like when they played to their potential, that like Christina and Anna were insanely hard to stop, and then the mixed teams were insanely hard to stop. It was just the inconsistency of the team, but that comes with a young team that's growing, right? So
exactly.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see with the more events now. That's probably more money in the players' pockets. Like me and Vic still aren't privy to what players make. Like whether you get more money. Like for example, if you're like a first round pick compared to if you're a sixth round pick, is there like a set? Is there like a set fee that you get paid? Like for example, like is it paid per event or is it paid over the entire
like
season?
Like a little bit like the MLP. Like if people has been listening to watching the MLP, they have like appearance fee for every tournament or every matches they play, right? So therefore, now we have more split. Therefore, technically, they have more appearance fee, right?
Yeah. So if that's the case, that's obviously more money in the player's pocket. Yes, it's another event, but that's the whole point of playing. So that's also going to mean more games. I'm going to assume the Eastern and Western split once again will be limited to the 4 East teams and the 4 West teams to cut down on some travel. And that'll be interesting to see what like the mid-season event is going to be. Is that going to be all the teams? Is it only going to be some of the teams? Like, is it going to be like, is there going to be extra bonus stuff going on with that event?
Or they do like the MLP. They have, we call them mid-season tournament. So which you can gain bonus point, whatever, or bonus ranking point or something like that. So and bonus prize money. So people like players will want to participate to get that bonus money.
Actually that could be a thing where it's an actual like mini tournament, mid-season tournament. And you actually have a winner of the mid-season tournament type of thing. So that'd be really interesting. Also makes for very good fan entertainment, right? So
definitely.
So it's going to be interesting. Like we said, there's obviously no qualifiers this year, and that's why the draft can happen so early because MILP was used as the building block, right? So if you want to be in the draft, you either had to play in the CNPL last season, or you had to play at least one event of MILP. Now, most of the players, and the nice thing is because they did the showdowns last year, majority of the players who even didn't necessarily get drafted, but we thought were basically worthy enough to get drafted, have at least played in one of those because they played in the showdown, right?
They qualify already, so
yeah, so it opens the door up for that. And like we said, I would love to see this eventually become like a 10-team league, and be like 5 and 5 on the sides. But it looks like we're probably going to go with 8 again.
And like I said, that's okay. It's still in the we're still starting. Even we're only, like we said, we're only in season 4. It's just season 4. At the same time, like I don't mind still having those eight team at this point. Maybe when we have more investor or we have more like we have more exposure from the media, then makes sense to push it to the 10 team.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully with a bunch of pretty much every player on the Team Canada Open team being a member of the CNPL, hopefully that also, if they do really well at the World Cup, hopefully that also brings some light into the CNPL as well. But yeah, and honestly, like if the rumors are true, we finally have all 8 teams with an actual like owner locked in. Oh, because like we know last year that the Pronghorns didn't have an owner and they were being run by the league because they didn't have an owner, right? So hoping for that, and then like we're super stoked. I'm debating on how much of my now that we know all the dates, how much of my time I'm requesting for our RTOs. So to whether we're doing broadcasting via satellite the way we did.
Parental leave is till like the 1st of September, so I might be able to do the most of them.
So you can do most of them, yeah, exactly, right? So,
well, that's with the caveat if the baby's fine.
Yeah, but
so the wife let me do that.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. So, like, if we do remote, like we did for both of the events we worked on the broadcast last season for. It's a little bit easier for you. It's if we are going to be on site, where then that's where something you have to negotiate.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Well, this year we definitely want to try. Like, if there's a Western split, we know that much in advance, we probably want to aim for it, right?
Yeah, well, and if they do the split, and especially how they were doing the splits the last couple, where they had like the tournament, like the amateur tournament leading into it, I wouldn't mind us going down and competing in the amateur tournament to lead up, and then so we've gotten our pickleball in, and then we get to commentate the rest of the weekend, right? So
exactly,
that would be fun. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. As more info comes out, we will let you guys know. And we had already mentioned Team Canada, but jumping into that now. So the World Cup draw is now out. The production on the side on the live stream was a little choppy. You could tell it was definitely made for people who were in attendance. Right? Like, it looked like it was really nice and really well presented, but the just the stream itself, like the audio cut out a bunch of times. There was no like zooming in on things like that. They basically just had like the camera set up and they were kind of going, right? And then the way they did it, so the top 4 teams from last year's event, so the US, Puerto Rico, Peru, and Chinese Taipei automatically went into groups A, B, C, D. So that way they were separated and they weren't put in like what you would call a pool of death. Right? So
yeah, that would be rough.
And then they basically did a draw to see which then areas would then draw a team. So not only were you randomly drawn from your area, but each area had a random draw to see who got picked in what sequence. So for example, like they drew a ball and it was like South America, and then they drew a ball and it was like, okay, it's going to be North America, and then say, okay, that's the and then all the way down till we got all the areas done out. Okay, that's going to be the sequence of how we draw balls for countries. And then so then you still were randomly drawn when it was your area's region to be pulled up, right? So what we'll do first is we'll go through the groups, and then we'll focus in on where Canada linked. So if you notice me miss a letter of the alphabet, everyone, I'm skipping that one because that's the group that Canada's in. Okay. And I apologize in advance if I butcher some of these countries' names. I am unfortunately just an English speaker, and not even a good one at that. So Group A, we have the U.S., Argentina, Ukraine, and Belize. So obviously U.S. has the big advantage in that, but I do know there are a couple really good players from Argentina, and I'm interested to see what Ukraine and Belize bring to the table for this. Group B, Puerto Rico, Lithuania, Israel, and Panama. Of course, same thing, like really obviously Puerto Rico finished in the top 4 last year, so obviously really good players coming out of there. I'm interested to see I'm also interested to see if any of the players are like, say, North American residents but with ties to those specific countries, because some of these countries, that's a lot of money to fly over, right?
I think they a lot of those players had just citizenship or dual citizen or whatever. And they're just living in North America, and so makes them easier to or they just even train in the States. So there's a lot of those players just train in the States, but still hold the others as citizenship. So you never know, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, and like if you want a good example of that, if you look at anything to do with Olympic swimming, there's a lot of players or a lot of swimmers from Canada who train in the States at the universities there, or train in Australia, where Australia is known for their insanely good swimming program, right? So anyways, so then we got Group C, we got Peru, Romania, Italy, the Cayman Islands. Group D, we got Chinese Taipei, France, Armenia, and Bonaire. Group D, we have New Zealand, Switzerland, Turkey, Trinidad, and Tobago. That's going to be I'm interested with that one because I'm pretty sure New Zealand's got a fair number of decent players, especially with Australia running their own pro league, and I know they go down and play in that. Speaking of Australia, Group G, Australia, Slovakia, India, and Costa Rica.
That'll be actually a tough one because India's booming quite a bit too. So it's going to be an interesting group to be stuck with.
Yeah, exactly. Group H, South Africa, Serbia, Vietnam, and Mexico. That's going to be another good one because Vietnam's growing really quickly, and so is Mexico.
Yeah,
right.
I'm just wondering if QD can play.
No, it's too high of a level. Well, if they go to the same stipulations that Team Canada had.
Yeah, they don't have to, right?
I don't know. We'll see if that was a stipulation or not, right? So
I know. We'll see if QD played. It was like, oh, okay, we're done. We can leave.
Oh, you just got to win the other three, the two events that he's not playing in, and at least force a dream break, right?
Yeah, you have to try. Hard, quite hard.
Yeah. Then we have Group I: Egypt, Bosnia and Herzegovina or Govina. Yeah. I apologize. Saudi Arabia and Bermuda. Mm-hmm. Group J: Bolivia, Croatia, Malaysia, and Guatemala. That's also going to be a tough one. Because same thing. I know Malaysia's getting really big with that one. Group K: Venezuela, Czech Republic, Hong Kong, China, and Jamaica. Another one where Venezuela and Hong Kong, I got a feeling.
Hong Kong has that guy called Hong Kong Kid. That's what his name is. I think he made a couple of finals at the PPA Asia, and actually he's ranked number 1 in PPA Asia right now. So
nice.
So if he's playing on this one, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, and I've seen a lot on a lot of Jamaica too, of people getting really, really good there from some videos and stuff on Instagram.
Yes, but especially from Ernesto and Christina playing over there.
Yeah, when they went down and played in the Jamaica Open, Group L: Paraguay, the individual neutral athletes, Pakistan and Dominican Republic.
Nice.
Group M.
What's individual neutral athlete?
So for example, if they're not really representing any country and they're just individuals. So say if they're seeking asylum, or if I know for a while there, because Russia was banned from the Olympics,
gotcha.
For that doping scandal, there was athletes from Russia that just competed under athletes from so they're not really representing any country, but they're or if say the country is in a time of civil war, they don't align with necessarily the political government at that time, and so the same thing, they've sought asylum or they've moved to somewhere else like in the States or Canada, and they're just representing themselves because they're good enough. I know they've had that at the Olympics before where they're just individual athletes where they've qualified for the Olympics, but they don't fall under the banner that necessarily from the country they're from because of political reasons and things like that.
Gotcha.
Group M, we have Uruguay, Spain, the Philippines, and the Bahamas. I may be really interested in Spain and the Philippines because I know the Philippines is really booming in pickleball as well. Mm-hmm. I should have told Irene to message them and say, hey, because Irene still got her dual citizenship.
Yeah, exactly. So, can I qualify?
Yeah. But they got some decent pro players in the Philippines as well.
That's true.
Group N, we got Colombia, England, Japan, and Aruba. That's going to be a tough one with England and Japan in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I know England's growing because England just had that big English Open a month or two ago. Because remember from the Owls, Eric went and played in that.
Yeah.
And then I think Japan either hosted the Asian Open or they hosted a major tournament recently.
They hosted the PPA.
Yeah. Group O, we got Chile, Greece, Thailand, and Cuba. Mm-hmm. That should be a pretty good one as well. Yep. Group P, Ecuador, Belgium, China, and Nicaragua. Mm-hmm. And then Group Q, Brazil, Portugal, Haiti, and Antigua and Barbuda. I apologize to anyone from that country. This is the first time I've literally read that out loud. But that's awesome.
We need Google Gemini or Siri to do that next time.
I should have done that ahead of time and gotten the pronunciations. Because Canada went into Group F. Now these ones are easy for me. Samoa, Netherlands, Canada, and then Germany. So this is an interesting one. I think we have the edge here, but then again,
it depends on Netherlands and Germany, right?
I'm interested. Booming. I'm interested in Samoa too, because Samoa, there may be a lot of people with Samoan heritage, also like from Hawaii
Oh yeah, that's true.
and like California and that type of stuff. So if they've been playing in those PPA events in that Hawaii hosts, and Hawaii hosts a bunch of different pickleball stuff as well. And I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of islands in the Samoa area that also do pickleball stuff because it's obviously tropical paradise, and so getaway, and that's been a big draw there. So I'm very interested to see, like, even though they're an unknown, I'm very interested to see how strong they are. But yeah, Netherlands and Germany, just because of all the racket type of background that those two countries have, I'm interested to see where their pickleball status is at. But I got a feeling that I think we would be considered the favorite in that. But just because, like I said, me and Vic haven't really seen majority of those three countries play, so we're a little biased.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there's no for sure we're always biased. We definitely got to cheer for Canada, right?
Yeah. But like 68 teams. Only one will come out on top. So it's and like we said, we got so many groups who went all the way down to the letter Q. So
yeah. So how does it work? They usually gonna battle out from the group first, and then they're gonna go like quarters and whatever?
From what I saw from last year, and last year it wasn't shown as well. You play the round robin in your group, and I can't remember if it's the top 1 or top 2 teams from the group move on.
Okay.
Now I don't know if they're gonna have Group A versus Group Q coming out, or if they have, or how it's done. They haven't posted that yet, so we'll keep track of that. Once I've been like stalking the World Cup's Instagram and their website to see the World Cup website right now. If you go to that, it's mostly about the regular tournament that's there. It hasn't really shown anything in regards to the team factor. So most of the info we're getting is from the Instagram. So it depends on how quickly they get that info out. Because I'm assuming at some point they're going to pop out a big bracket saying, "Okay, here's Group A, here's Group this. You play in there. Okay, which and this one team or these two teams come out." Type of thing, right? So we'll see how it goes. I got a feeling it might be only the top team, just with how many teams are there.
that would make sense. Otherwise, it's gonna take forever.
Yeah, right. So like the top team comes out, and then that drops you to 1, 2. Oh my God, I can't. 2, 3, 4, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17. And that, so if the top team comes out, that'll drop you to like 17 teams.
Still quite a bit.
Right. So, but then you could do either a round of 17. So I guess you'd have one team get a bye. Maybe probably the team with the best point differential or whatever gets a bye. So like who would be ranked first overall?
Yeah, you do like a round of 16 and then move on.
And then a round of 16 and then the one player moves up type of thing, or whichever. But you could do it that way, or you could have opposite side of the brackets where you have like one team with a bye and then 8 and 8 type of thing.
Yeah.
And come across like that. So we'll see how they end up doing it. But I love the build up this year. Like I'm going to give a huge shout out to Peru, who's hosted it the last 2 years, of getting this thing off the ground and running. Like, yes, it was very bare bones the first year. Second year, like you could see it getting there.
Yeah.
Type of thing, right? But now you've gotten the attention of all these countries. You're in the States at the fort in Fort Lauderdale, right? So it's just and now you're going to have national coverage from multiple countries. Like I've seen Instagram posts where there's news companies in the various countries covering this, of like the team going about the World Cup. It's going to get covered in the US. Hopefully they do a really good job with the broadcast. They got so many sponsors lined up for this, and so many different sponsors who are good with digital media and stuff like that. I hope they do a really good job of broadcasting it, so that they have commentators, they have like people who can provide insights on like each team and thing like that, right? Like I said, if I wasn't already on family vacation, I would say call me and Vic, and we can be the Canadian team insight. But no, I'm really, really excited for this. I'm going to be cheering my butt off. Like I said, hopefully, it's really well broadcasted. If I'm off on the last day and Canada is in the finals, I will be figuring out how to do a watch along, whether we do it on our YouTube channel or we do it like Instagram live, and then you tune into the YouTube channel and watch it side by side with us. but we're definitely going to be doing that and cheering Team Canada on with that one.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, yeah, super excited. And then another big piece of news that just came out, Pickleball Canada has partnered with Pickleball Management Group, or PMG. They're a leading provider of innovative pickleball court and event solutions. So Pickleball Canada has teamed up with them and are announcing a new partnership, establishing PMG as the official rollout court provider for the organization. It's a 2-year agreement. And PMG is trying to expand globally because they're big in the States and they've been running. I think you said they were running lots of Moneyball tournaments in the States, Vic?
Yeah, especially in the Florida area, they're running a lot of. They have like almost like a Moneyball league, something like that, like they call.
Oh, okay, nice.
So
And yeah,
which is great. I think that helps a lot. Like some upcomer players that it's not like PPA or APP level, they can try work their way out from there.
yeah. So and then like in the announcement, they write that a typical rollout court comes in 5 6 foot wide by 60 long rolls for 30 by 60 court, and can only be installed on like concrete, asphalt, or a wood surface. PMG's new revolutionary pickle deck subfloor system now allows court installation on any surface, including grass, turf, compact dirt, clay, etc. So as a part of the partnership, PMG is supplying 2 premium rollout courts to Pickleball Canada for use in future national championships. So 2 courts that can literally get put on anything, which is nice. So even if you just use that for championship courts, I don't care. Actually, if we're thinking realistically, you probably will.
You probably should.
Right. So, but that's awesome. I did a quick look on PMG's website, and they not only do they do like rollout courts, but they also like run events. So I'm interested to see if part of the partnership is Pickleball Canada using them to help run events, because like apparently when you look at their website, they all run, the tournament schedule. They do the setup and takedown of the courts. They help with event logistics. They have software management for merchandising, post-event follow-up communications. They customize different elements of the event. They have staffing available for day of the event managing. They help develop sponsorship. They help with budget management. So if this partnership works out to the point where they're actually helping run the event, I can see a lot more places willing to trying to get the nationals there, because if you have this event, this company that's used to running high level events with lots and lots of athletes, because just as speaking as 2 guys who just ran an event that only had 75 plus people, it was a lot.
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
So you can imagine if it's 700 plus people, right? So
Ouch.
if they're able to help whichever club or whichever provincial governing body ends up taking nationals, that is a massive bonus. And especially if they help with budget and also help finding sponsors, because we've already said that's been a big issue for pickleball, is finding sponsors outside of the realm of pickleball, right?
Yep.
Like RBC or like a McDonald's or like a Subway or what have you, right? Yeah,
One
right.
of the biggest will be Tim Hortons. Why not, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. So that's been the big push, and like we said before, as 2 guys who are running tournaments and have ran a tournament and are planning on running more tournaments, finding sponsors has been a thing. And like we've sent out emails to like pretty much almost anyone you can think of, or at least we started with the pickleball ones. Because right now, because we're so unknown, that's where you're going to get your first dibs. But we're so lucky, and once again, I'm going to thank Jeff Sampson for this, of hooking up with Nature's Path for that, because that's not a pickleball thing, right? That's a food and organic thing that also happen to be big fans of pickleball, and the fact that we've been able to link up with them and make that work has been awesome.
Yeah, it's a big thank you for them.
Right. So, but but yeah, it's tough to find those sponsors and also to be able to sales pitch it properly. Right.
Oh
So
yeah.
if you have this company that's already used to doing all that for you, or at least can help you with like, this is how I would suggest you pitch this company. This is how I suggest you pitch this company.
Mm-hmm.
This is the budget you have to work with. So maybe don't spend so much on this, but you should deviate your budget to this, right? And things like that. Right. So it's a big step forward. For Pickleball Canada to and like I said, even if the bare minimum is you get two rollout courts, that's hey, like we were saying before, getting equipment to use at the nationals and just have, like I said, have it in a storage locker, then you can ship it out to whoever's hosting to make it easier for them. That's a
Yep.
big thing already, right? So I'm super happy about that. I'm interested to see how big of a role the PMG takes at the next nationals.
Mm-hmm.
And because like we still haven't seen an announcement of where it's going to be. Like we've had the rumors about it possibly being at the nest, but then again, I don't know if that nest is going to be, if the nest is going to be ready yet in BC.
Yeah. Well, for now, they're aiming for March or a April opening, but
So yeah,
you
so
never know.
if it's open by March or April, then that's time, right? Because then you still have,
But that's just that's like very preliminary planning, right?
yeah,
I know
because I
they
think that I
broke
think
ground.
they've broken ground now, but I know it's still stupid early, and then of course you got winter coming, which can slow stuff down massively here in Canada. Like I know for those of you living in the States, you're like, oh, winter, big whoop, it's only like X degrees outside. I'm like, yeah, but in BC you get a crap ton of snow,
Yeah, you got
which can
snow
slow
too, exactly.
can slow construction down to a standstill.
Mhm.
So, like, I'm hoping the nest is open in time, and it'd be awesome if it was there. Just like looking at the number of courts, we already know our spot in Spruce Grove isn't going to be ready.
No.
Technically, Rays could host, but I don't know if they're interested in that because and like we said, they have space to add the more courts that would be necessary,
Mm.
but
They
I don't know
technically
if they're
have,
interested.
but are they interested? That's the biggest problem.
Well, and the big thing is they need to team with like the St. Albert Pickleball Club with the pitch.
Hmm.
Right, you never really just see a facility, and they also need to team with Pickleball Alberta and I don't know how much into that Pickleball Alberta is right now, because I'm not on the board anymore. My term is over, so they've just had the new board come in, and I don't know what they're focused on right now.
Hmm.
So, and they're probably more focused on getting provincials going
Yeah.
first, right? And that obviously they should be, but yeah, so it's going to be interesting because I'm trying to think of anything else west, like unless Regina plans on hosting it again, obviously they could do that at the hub and the trade center there, but on like other than that out west, I don't really see any other place because like we said, it's Canada, so you need it to be indoors
Hmm.
because
Yeah, because if
weather is too unpredictable here.
it rains, it's over.
Yeah, exactly, right.
You
So
you're pushing way too much time, and especially for national trying to run the whole in the whole week, you time is crunching, right?
yeah, exactly. And there's not really any other spot right now in BC that has enough courts. Like Vernon doesn't have enough. Uh
No. Well,
Kamloops, I don't.
yes, technically with the outdoors, if they convert those tennis court, technically it's okay. Technically.
Yeah, but that's outdoors. This is what I mean. Like for
Mm.
you need coverage, right?
Yeah.
So, and I don't think that and that facility in Cochrane being built in Alberta isn't going to be covered.
No, it's
So,
outdoors.
right,
That's
so
not enough there.
that's not going to be enough. Red Deer isn't covered, so you can't do it there. Um, yeah, there's not really any place with that actual coverage right now, aside from Rays, and and then if the nest opens up on time. So it's going to be interesting, and that's why they haven't announced where nationals are because you don't really have a confirmed spot, right?
So that's a reason why I think the rollout course is important, because then if you don't have a facility that has enough courts, that's why you can like get into like a convention center and then have those rollout course on those kind of convention center, and then there you go, you have enough courts to run the whole thing, and then because it's a convention centers, then usually your AC and everything should be fine, so you won't have like heat issue or whatever, right?
Yeah, exactly, because they're used to hosting massive events, right? So
exactly. So that's my take. And it has been like there's a lot of like in the States, a lot of like big tournaments or even sometimes some pickleball trade show that has they actually incorporate the pickleball tournament at the same time, are using roll court in those convention center because they know everything is going to be predictable. We're not going to like, yeah, sometime, okay, match can run longer, but at least you're going to be able to like run it down at for that day. You're not going to extend more than the next day, right?
yeah, exactly, right. So it's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, this, like we said, leads to more sponsors, more the ability to make it easier running the tournament, so we're not stuck in a tennis facility again that doesn't have proper AC, and we're not playing on taped on courts, especially for nationals. You don't want that.
Well, you have to. You have to
I
use rail court as much as you can because
yeah,
you're calling yourself a national, and people first of all deserve more and demands more because you're charging more.
yeah, right. So yeah, because like we said, if it's just like a fun tournament and you just happen to rent it out with your buddies, yeah, a taped court with um with non-permanent nets is fine. Like especially like say you're doing a fundraiser or something like that. But the moment you stick provincials, nationals, like that
Yeah.
prestige in front of something, you need to be able to deliver quality, proper size courts for it, right? So
Yeah, People remembers. Okay, that tournament was shitty. I'm like, oh, maybe next year I'm not gonna go, like, or something like that, right?
yeah, exactly. So So that was a massive information dump for this episode. So we're gonna cut it there. I'm gonna save all the blind ranking stuff now, Vic, for when we have like a dead news episode. So this will be the last one, guys. Probably until after the World Cup, unless something else massive drops. Because I'm about to go on a family vacation to Mexico, and Vic's obviously busy with the baby. I get back on the 31st. So just in time to watch the end of the World Cup. But then we'll definitely, regardless of how Canada does, we'll do a recap episode for that. Any other new news with CNPL and stuff that pops up, we'll go over that. And then hopefully, so that'll be like the first week of November. Then after that, we'll see how the news things goes. If we cut down to like one a month or two a month type of thing, but we're starting to get into the wind down. But with the CNPL starting so early next year with the draft in January, I got a feeling that CNPL news is going to stay pretty ramped. In these coming months, so which is perfect for us. Exactly.
And well, I'll still try to keep up with the paddle review. So we have a couple paddle lined up. So I'm just needing to find time to record with Dewey, and then we just try to keep relevant every month at least. Some new paddles coming in because now we're starting hitting the holiday season. Holiday season, what you mean? The best thing you can buy more paddles. There you go. Right,
exactly,
right. So your loved one does not have a good paddle, buy her a good and a better paddle, or buy him a better paddle, and he or her will love you forever.
Yeah, and we do have a new partnership coming up with us and the podcast. It's not 100% finalized, but by the next episode, it should be up. So you will hear us and talk about that. So we're super excited about that, which will also come into stuff for our next MILP event, which, like we said, it's coming. It's going to be early February.
Yeah.
But we can't do anything official with it until the nationals are over in December. So, like we said, pay attention to the Instagram channels, and the podcast for the announcement when registration opens for that. But we have one planned and it's going ahead. We're working on some other ones. We're waiting for a couple of facilities to get back to us. But hopefully we can at least pop out 3 or 4 next year. And now that we know the CNPL schedule, we know what to work around.
Yeah, we're just going to work around those ones. So making sure we're not conflicting with them.
Exactly. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate it, and we'll see you in November.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for listening. As always, please like, subscribe, and comment if you need. Do you want to talk to us about anything about pickleball?